So let's kick things off. State-of-the-art transshipment port in Brea. Mr. Deo Gosine, he comes with over 40 years of engineering experience. I understand 45 years of engineering experience. He's the owner of the Brighton International Terminal, and he's here to talk to us about the state-of-the-art transshipment port in Brea. This is a multi-purpose port. We have so much to talk about. Welcome.
Good morning and thank you.
So you come with over 40 years of engineering experience, and we're very excited to hear a little bit more about you before we get into the transshipment port.
Well, may I tell you good morning to our listeners and good morning to all of us this morning. I was born in Trinidad, having left here more than 52 years ago. I've been an engineer, graduated August 1972. That makes me about 45 years. MBA 1977. So I've been around for a long time. I have worked in more than 19 countries around the world, purely in greenfield operation, from oil refinery, nuclear power plant, gas transmission line from Siberia to Italy, hydrocarbon plants in Brazil, to name a few. But like the old song goes, when the swallows come back to Capistrano, third time in our life we want to come back home. And I know the same happened with the salmon in Columbia River in the Seattle area. So I see the fit to come back and spend more time here in Trinidad to help us grow Trinidad. Trinidad is a wonderful country. I'm still in love with Trinidad, even having left here 52 years.
Okay. So the state-of-the-art transshipment port in Brea, what is the status, first of all, of the Brighton International Terminal?
May I add, it's not just a transshipment port, and maybe I should tell the genesis of how it evolved and where we are in the country. Right now, Trinidad does about 577,000 TEU, that's 20-foot container equivalent, per year. Point Lisa's does about 162,000. Port of Spain does about 330,000. Recently, the government of Trinidad and Tobago went to IDB and asked them to take a look at Trinidad, vis-a-vis the coming of the third channel of Panama Canal, and let us see where we are, how we can benefit from it. The report came out 2015, I think. Minister Botiwari was then Minister of Planning, and a large contingent of people involved in the maritime industry were invited for this telecasting coming out of Washington, D.C. The numbers are as follows. Trinidad will need a capacity of 1.2 million TEU by 2020. We just had the Panama Canal third channel opened up where we can now pass vessels up 1,400 feet through the canal. And there's a growing market in Eastern Latin America. Transshipment is one aspect of it. But this port will drive our local industry here in Trinidad, will help us drive the Southwestern Peninsula development. As we quite well know, the new highways coming on. We know there's a tremendous growth potential in the Southwestern Peninsula. So what I'm saying, in addition, this port is being designed to handle 6 million metric tons of ore, from iron ore, coal, manganese ore, and others. Right now, there's a huge demand in Guyana and Suriname and Brazil for transshipment. We know right here in Trinidad, there's a German company called Orendorff. They just got permission from EMA to transmit as much as 25 million metric tons a year. So that is the market. May I remind all our listeners, Trinidad was blessed with a terrific location. Look at what we have at our doorstep. We are in certain parts of Trinidad, less than 10 miles away from Venezuela and Latin America. We got a fast-growing eastern part of Latin America. What are we getting out of it? We are talking divesting the economy, we are talking divesting the economy. Where are we going? This port is not just a port to move containers or ore. It will help us drive our local economy.
Which is much needed right now.
Tremendously needed, much needed. We are so dependent upon hydrocarbon oil, which is a depletable resource. You got to bear that in mind.
So what is the status of the terminal right now, the Brighton?
Right now we have done our master study. We have enlisted one of the world's foremost consultants, Dr. John Martin out of USA, Worley Parson, a world-class consultant out of Australia. We worked through the Houston office. They did the master planning. We have just took on the Vice President of Ports of America, Jim Hunt, to help us into the bulk terminal. So we have brought in a lot of consultants. The land is already there, and if you have a shot, you can show the land at Brea. I'm not sure whether you have a shot of it.
Yeah, we should.
But the good thing about Brea and the site, in that study, I made reference to the IDB study. They talk about the two major known ports in Trinidad, Port of Spain and Point Lisas. If Port of Spain is to grow to take that slack up in terms of container capacity, I think it's somewhere around $1 billion, and you know Port of Spain, the land is too important and too valuable to put into containers. Point Lisas has a similar problem. Point Lisas does not have space unless they spend an umpteen amount, billions of dollars to get there. We in Brea, and I hope you have a shot somewhere, it's a vacant piece of land. We are operating part of Dock 3 right now, providing offshore work for the oil and gas industry. We have been operating that port for the last 6 years. So we do have a track record operating in Trinidad. But the property is there. We are talking to stakeholders. We are enlisting the support of our landlord, NEC, which is owned by NGC. We have been speaking with the minister. We have an unconditional letter from the last Minister of Works supporting the project. We have international carriers and operators. And I don't want to be presumptuous, neither I want to be early in saying what I'm going to say to you. We now have interest from major local company interest in our port. Funding. This will not be a yoke on taxpayers' burden in Trinidad. Too many of our projects are dependent upon government guarantees, government handout. This is a fully private facility. We are asking stakeholders. We are talking of P3 arrangement. P3 is a new term for PPP arrangement, bringing government-private participation. This project is funded by the investors and will be a full tax-paying entity.
All right, so I want to talk about the creation of jobs. How many jobs are we looking at?
Ports of this size will create a tremendous number of direct jobs. There are spin-offs. We'll talk about spin-offs in a minute. The direct employment for this port can be as much as 2,000 employees. Let me enunciate how we arrive at those numbers. Those employed in the port per se could be a couple hundred. However, I would like you to go one day in Revelette Road in Couva and sit in front of the NEC office and look at what you see going by. Trucks, whoosh, whoosh. Now, when we talk about 1.1 million TEU, now mind you, those 1.1 million has to go into the port. No, sorry, leave the port, and the empties have to return. So you're talking about 2 million round trips. We need truck drivers. We would estimate we'll need approximately 300 trucks to support that operation. 300 trucks need mechanic. They need roti in the morning. They need doubles in the morning. They need bacon shack in the morning. So this is how we need mechanics. We got to fix those trucks.
Yes.
We got to repair the trucks. We got to paint the trucks. So what I'm saying, I'm painting a picture of people who are directly related to the port operation. Should be somewhere, and this number didn't come from me. It came from the consultants. Internationally.
Willie Parsons, etc.
Right. Now the spin-off aspect of it. When you have raw material, what do you have? You have industrial growth. Now I'd like to remind you, when you fly over New Jersey or you fly over Houston, you see a lot of tanks.
Yes.
And you say, oh, plenty oil. Incorrect. There is some crude, there's some finished product. A lot of that is other additives which go into manufacturing. For example, sugar. We can have soybean oil. We can have syrups. We can have industrial chemicals, which can go down into manufacturing chemicals in our country. So what I'm showing, painting here, when we have the capacity of bringing large volumes, right now, if we are bringing in additives, we can bring in 55-gallon drum. We are limited how competitive we can be based on our own economics of scale.
So we have a foreign exchange issue currently in this country. How is this going to affect
Well,
you?
this is a direct earner foreign dollar. In the shipping business, there's only one note that counts, the mighty US dollar, and sometimes we use some sterling. So what I'm saying, it's a direct earner of foreign reserve in our country that will hopefully alleviate some of the pressure we have right now. Our manufacturers can't buy goods and services to help in manufacturing downstream product here in Trinidad. So all I'm saying that we are looking at one more very important thing. We are located 10 kilometers from the point. Mind you, Singapore began LNG bunkering the fueling of ships.
Mm-hmm.
The known fuel right now is heavy crude or number 6 fuel oil. Some time ago, IMO, International Maritime Organization, instituted laws that said the amount of pollution and sulfur we can release in the atmosphere. To go along with that, the U.S. government a number of years ago said any vessel within 200 miles radius of U.S. must emit no more than 0.5% of sulfur in the air, which means we have a choice. Mm-hmm. If we'll keep the current fuel we are burning and put something called scrubbers or bag houses to scrub the air so we release less pollutants in the air. Or the other way is gas. 10 nautical miles from us, we have LNG, Atlantic LNG. Mm-hmm. Would you believe that our LNG went to Singapore to start the LNG plant, and we have LNG right down the road from where we are, and we're not doing. Now think about the impact. Vessels will come into our port to take on fuel, which means we get vessel call, which means the country benefits, which means we'll start ship chandling, which means we'll supply food to the ships when they come in, which means they can do some repair also. So there are a lot of other things that come in. Now, there is not one LNG bunkering facility in the South Atlantic, mm-hmm. which means traffic will gravitate to us. Also, there are more than 30,000 ship passes per year around Trinidad, and we get very little out of it. Having fuel is a very, very important thing in the shipping industry.
Well, Mr. Gosine, unfortunately, we're out of time, but it was indeed a pleasure chatting with you. What are your closing comments? What would you like to see?
Madam, I'd like to ask that our good government and the public at large see the merit of a container port and a bulk transfer port in Trinidad. It will not only move container. Container transshipment is a low return in type investment. But look at the LNG bunkering. Look at the ore we'll transship from here. Others are doing it, why aren't we? But most important, I would like to tell you, us Trinidadians can build a port. There's no reason for us to go to the cold countries to bring consultants, and I had a long conversation recently with a major operator, and I said, us Trinidadians can build it. And I'm a living example of that. I came back here to operate a port, an international port in Brea. And we are doing that, and we are providing service to BP and some others out of our facility. So what I'm saying, I implore you, and I thank you for allowing me to come visit with you this morning, but I hope that we see the merit of it. I encourage our government. Mind you, needs for port didn't come up yesterday. When Mr. Manning was Prime Minister, he spoke of the port. Later on the PPP government, they had an ad for PP arrangement. So the need has been there, and ports like good wine improve with age. I thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Great honor to be here this morning.
It's a pleasure to have you.